Welcome to the FWI News Review. Coming up this week, DEFRA has called into action ahead of the NFU Conference, farming gets its knuckles rapped over misleading adverts, and red tape stops a farmer from helping out in the snow. NFU President Peter Kendall will ask DEFRA to put its money where its mouth is when it comes to farming. Mr Kendall will use the conference in Birmingham next week to build on what he says is a more progressive government attitude towards farming. He's set to welcome recent claims from DEFRA Secretary Hilary Benn that the government wants farmers to produce as much food as possible, but he will warn that many government policies continue to unfairly hamper production in favour of the environment. You'll be able to see full coverage of the conference at fwi.co.uk/NFU 2009. Livestock trade across the country faces disruption this week over BSE testing costs. Philip Clark reports.
The meat supply chain has been in turmoil this week over who should pay for BSE testing of older cattle. Since government stopped paying for the tests in January, abattoirs have been passing on the share of the £25 cost to farmers who sell their cattle deadweight. But now they're also insisting that live auction marts should make a deduction from cattle sold through the ring. This the auctioneers have refused to do, and as a result, meat buyers have boycotted a number of sales. The Whitland cattle sale in South Wales was one of the casualties. As I wrote on my business blog this week, it is understandable that the abattoirs want farmers to share some of the pain. But to force auctioneers to levy farmers who choose to sell their cattle live weight amounts to bully boy tactics and should be stopped immediately.
The Advertising Standards Agency has ruled against 2 adverts produced by the farming industry. The agency says the adverts by the British Pig Executive and the NFU must not be run again in their current form in case they mislead consumers. The decision has sparked discussion on FWI space, as Isabel Davies explains.
The Advertising Standards Authority announced on Wednesday that it was upholding complaints about 2 adverts run on behalf of British farmers. The first was this one by BPEX, which promoted the quality standard mark and the higher welfare standards on British farms. The second was this one run by the NFU last summer to raise awareness of the rising problem of bovine TB. The ASA ruled against the NFU because it said the ad implied badgers were solely to blame for the rising TB. But writing on the forums, Corky said the ASA's decision was the wrong one. I say well done NFU. I have a copy on the back window of my Jeep and will make some more for all the locals here. We must keep the fight up against TB to save our beef industry. Dick also pitched in, claiming that people conveniently ignore the suffering of our cattle and seem to delight in seeing the demise of our bovine industry. Liz, who works for the NFU, said the union's fight to get action on TB would go on, despite the decision. She pointed out that the complaint had only been partly upheld. We designed that ad to be thought-provoking and to educate a largely ignorant but prepared to be understanding public, and on that front, I think it worked. What do you think? Tell us at fwi.co.uk/TB advert.
And finally, rain and snow has continued to sweep the UK this week, but a farmer in Oxfordshire who tried to do a snowy good deed has been left out in the cold. Jonathan Riley explains.
Oxfordshire beef farmer Christopher Lewis has been left puzzled this week after council officials told him to stop clearing snow from roads around his farm. Why? Because he's not qualified. Is the council a few watsits short of a bag? What qualifications could be needed to clear snow? Mr Lewis had full insurance and his staff were fully trained to use the snowplough. Being safe on farms is vital, but I think this is health and safety gone mad.
Thanks, John. That's it from me this week. For all the latest news, go to fwi.co.uk.